All right, you're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time for us to look at the headlines across Nigerian newspapers. And to help make sense of all of these headlines we'll be looking at today, some of our regulars here. I have Jide Ologun here. Jide, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning,
You're
Mike.
welcome.
Thank
Great.
you.
And I have Tunji Abdulhammed also here to help make sense of this. Tunji, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Great. Now let's begin with the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says, NSAS report, no massacre at Lekki. Federal government insists. Lagos panel report, a sham, can't be acted upon. Lai Mohammed is saying this. Says, too many gaps, errors, omissions in report render it a hoax. And notes its triumph for fake news, intimidation of silent majority by a vociferous lunch mob. You know, a lot of description around it. That's a Vanguard newspaper. We'll certainly talk briefly about this. Blueprint newspaper. Lagos NSAS report unverified. Fake news on social media. Federal government is saying this. Lagos NSAS report unverifiable fake news on social media. Says it's tales by the moonlight, riddled with errors. Rehearse of old allegations, not product of investigations. And urges relations of or relatives of killed protesters to speak up. All right, this is that's the Blueprint. Leadership newspaper says Lagos NSAS panel, CSOs as civil society organizations divided over federal government's dismissal of report as fake news. Okay, from there let's go this Nigeria. Alleged NSAS massacre, it's fake news. Lai Mohammed fires back, rubbishes leaked report, findings based on truth. Senior advocate of Nigeria and others are saying this. Okay, from there let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust says federal government punctures Lagos NSAS panel report, identifies 10 loopholes. Says it's triumph of fake news, no massacre at Lekki toll gate. We're awaiting committee's report. Lagos government is saying this, and federal government not legally bound by panel report. Senior advocate of Nigeria is saying this. Okay, all that, we'll talk about it as we get along. Let's move now to Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says poor Nigerians to get 5,000 naira a month after fuel subsidy removal. Federal government is saying this. Okay. Without subsidy removal, 35 states may be unable to pay salaries in 2022. Governor El-Rufai is quoted at saying this. All right, we will look at this. National economy says federal government to spend 200 billion naira monthly to cushion effect of subsidy removal. Okay, that's what national economy is saying. From there, let's go to The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper says doubts as federal government plans to reimburse Nigerians, cancel fuel subsidy. A petrol price to hover between 320 naira to 340 naira per litre. El-Rufai saying states will support total removal of fuel subsidy. NNPC GMD subsidy will be removed early 2022. Experts one petrol equalization may truncate deregulation policy. Cash payment induces corruption. All right, these are all issues around it. We'll certainly talk about this as we get along. Daily Times is next. Federal government to replace fuel subsidy with a transport grant for 40 million Nigerians. Ahmed is saying this. Okay. First news. Federal government to remove fuel subsidy, pay transport grant to poor citizens. Okay, even when they're not traveling, you just pay them transport grant. Prices of petroleum products set to hit the roof. Okay, that's first news. From there, let's go to Daily Independent. Petrol may rise to 340 naira per litre in 2022. NNPC is saying this on the Daily Independent. Federal government to pay 40 million Nigerians 5,000 naira transport grant to replace fuel subsidy. Okay. From there, let's go to The Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper says petrol to sell for 340 naira per litre next year, says Kerry. Labour cautions government against unilateral action. 5,000 naira monthly stipend for 40 million Nigerians. Okay, that's The Nation newspaper. Business Day, price of cooking gas rises 63% to last longer. Okay, that's business day. News Direct is the last one we're seeing now. News Direct is next, and it says alleged 20.5 billion naira budget padding. Conclude budget defense today. Lawan tells appropriation committee on that. Okay, these are all the stories we'll be looking at. But all right, gentlemen, let's start with because the papers today have two major stories across most of the papers we're looking at this morning. The first is talking about the NSAS report, and then the other. So let's start with the NSAS report. Of course, we know that, Jide, let me start with you on this, because the point there is, when it comes to a report of this nature, administratively, we expect that there's going to be a fine-tuning, which the government says there's going to be a white paper to that effect, and then that will recommend actually what will be done and how it will be done, and if there is compensation, well, if there is, final verifications and all of that. And that what is out there that we are seeing from the report, we're seeing the headlines, that the report was leaked, and that was not the actual reports that was packaged together by the panel. Generally, what do you make of this back and forth, as the case may be?
I expected this, and you would not have expected Chief Lai Mohammed to just accept the report when you realize that the federal government got grossly indicted by that report, and it was, we were to even have access to the white paper, but the report got leaked. And he has described it as fake news, but whether the International Criminal Court is looking at it that way or the global community is a different issue. And there are basic questions that are likely to have been answered. Was there a 20th of October 2020 incident at the Lekki toll gate? The answer is yes. Were there gunshots? Yes. Did people die? You may debate that. So do we have, expressions of massacre? And what is massacre by definition? When you use brutal force against defenseless people. So were the people there that night singing the national anthem, flagging the national flag and requesting for peace that they never got? So it's a big case for the government, but it is characteristic, and you remember the Oputa panel that Chief Olusegun Obasanjo set up to also investigate the human rights violations under some leaders in the country. Recommendations were made, and it was presented in, I think, year 2002, and was not even released in 2005. But what have we implemented from it? Because right now we have several levels of this NSAS case. The issues that prompted the NSAS protest, have we attended to them? Can we claim that we have ended police brutality in Nigeria, extrajudicial killings? So it's a huge one, and Chief Lai Mohammed has tried to mop up the embarrassment, but I doubt if that can be done effectively. So, but that is his assignment, as the minister of the federal government.
All right, Tunji. On the other hand, a lot of people are saying that whether this report is leaked and what is there, if there are loopholes or there are no loopholes, the point there is, just like Jide has said, was there an incident? Yes. Was there dissatisfaction from the people? Yes. Okay. Were there killings? Okay, it's debatable. Was there a massacre? All that is still controversial. But the point there is, a lot of people are still saying this is an opportunity for the federal government to make the moves of trying to bridge that gap between the government and the people. Forget about the report and all of those, the specifications of all of those. How about the actual engagement between between the government and the people? So a lot of people are saying this should have been the opportunity where the language and the approach of government should have changed. What do you make of that?
It's unfortunate that we have government or people in government that will not want to accept the truth or the reality on ground. As far as I'm concerned, it is not debatable that people died. It is not. It's not a debate. It was confirmed by the governor of Lagos State. He confirmed it, if you remember. Initially he said one person died. The other time he came and said 2 people died. That was when he was granting the interview with CNN or something. I can't remember the actual station. So that is not a debate again. There is confirmation from the governor. The governor is the chief secretary of the state, and he was there.
But the confirmation whether they were killed by a soldier, they were shot, as the case may be, was not necessarily.
He said people were. That was dead at the Lekki Gate issue. So what are we talking about?
But anything can be. That's why it's controversial.
Let me accept your coloring the story, and then following Alhaji Jide position.
I cannot color anything. We are putting everything there here, so that we are fair to all sides. Because the point there is that we haven't been able to, that area of the persons who died, families come and tell. All of that issue is still not on the table. It is
not. A committee was set up, or panel was set up. They sat for 1 year. The people came to testify. They based their report not based on what they want to write. They based their report based on what people who testify said before them, and they gave out our report. I was now saying it disheartening that, look, by the time you want to set up committee, you appoint people and they will reject because you are rubbishing their character and their image. If you don't trust them, why do you appoint them? Now they gave a report that is contrary to what you are expecting. You are now blackmailing them. If this report had gone in favor of the government, we won't be hearing this. In fact, I like my member is even jumping gun. As far as I'm concerned, he's even contradicting himself. On the one hand, he's saying the report has not been released. It's fake. On the other hand, he's rubbishing the report. So why are you rubbishing? Are you saying what you are rubbishing is contrary? And when I want to disagree with my colleague here, by Ologun, that Alhaji Mohammed is doing his job. That's not his job.
Okay.
His job is not to tell us what is not correct. His job is to give us information on government, not to defend the government at all costs.
But he's a spokesperson
you see,
of the government.
When we don't tell ourselves the truth, this is what we get. You see, in UK, when police kill just one person, what happened to date? Every Premiership league, you will see people kneeling down and begging.
All right. Now, Jide, the point there is a situation where a report, or let me put it this way, after that panel puts its report together, ideally, is this report supposed to be out there to be debated even before the white paper comes out?
You see, the white paper should be what the public should have access to. That, okay, we have synchronized all the reports. These are the important ones, the recommendations, what should be implemented. And if you are concerned about the concept of white paper, it has its root in the 16th century French approach. And it's used, the color white is used to say, okay, this you can release to the public. But we have found ourselves in the IT regime where there can be leakages. Recall that recently the address of our president was already out there before he came out to read to Nigerians. But then, like I said, there are several issues in this report. So for those who argue that there are discrepancies, you cannot rule that out. It's just like when you have a case in court, you depose to several issues, but you now focus on the main issues that will help you win your case. You see, so right now, like I streamlined it, are we saying 2010, 2020 never happened? The answer is no. There was an incident. And you now look at the contents of the incidents. And like Barrister Abdulhammed mentioned, there is a need for this government to begin to earn trust capital. All right. And it takes me back to the 1970, between 1977 and 1979, when $2.8 billion disappeared from the NNPC account. It was actually traced to Midland account in the UK. A panel was also set up that came out to say no money was missing. And by reinforcement theory, today, billions are getting missing. So until we come to the point of, aligning with the realities of our time and going for the essence of even setting up that panel wasn't just to come up with revelations. We are talking about reconciliation, restitution. By the way, the Lagos State government spent over 400 million in compensation. Why are you compensating if there were no issues? And let's also put it this in perspective. The assignment of that panel was not to just investigate what happened on the 20th of October at Lekki, but to look at the issues prompted by the protest. Police brutality, how can we reform the police? How can we make, how can we move forward? And when the incidents took place on the 20th, the terms of reference got expanded. Okay, look into this. And that appears to have taken the dominant position. But the president of the country and commander-in-chief of the armed forces has responded that he may still need to wait for reports from the other states. So Chief Lai Mohammed has now come to plunge into this. But then, let's see how it goes. Whether this will be part of many reports that have gone underground or not. But by and large,
yes,
the issues of police brutality, do we still have it? Extrajudicial killings, do we still have it? The absence of trust, do we still have it? Do we still need the reform?
Okay.
So these are issues, and we need to deal with those things to move forward to the platform of prosperity as a nation.
Okay. Now, Tunji, lastly, before we move to the other topic, the point there is, like Tunji said, there was a report credited to the president who said that, of course, we're going to wait for the outcomes of all of this because the Lagos panel is not the only panel from what he said. The point is there are a few other panels from several other states that whatever answers happened. So we're going to wait. But the Minister of Information has come now to make a statement. Does this look like it's predicting the outcome of the entire process?
Not only predicting.
Okay.
The last time I came here when the report was released, I will not say leaked, it was released. Yeah, because it was only
still supposed to wait for the white paper.
Member, they had their own white paper. I'm surprised people are talking about white paper. White paper will not write the report. White paper will not give us another report. White paper will not turn what is in the report to another thing. White paper will only explain the position of the government on the issue raised in the white paper. Not so we need to see the report and the white paper so that we can compare transparency. We need to see it. So as far as I'm concerned, I said at that time that I will not be surprised that the problem is not about the report itself. The problem is about the implementation of the report. And this position by Alhaji Lai Mohammed and some other people is one of the reasons why this report will not see the light of the day. Because I'm telling you, even the lawyer to the government has already condemned the report to an extent. So instead of him to go to appeal, to file necessary paper if he's not satisfied with it, you have done the case in court, you lost the case. Do I expect you to support the judgment? You are giving us let me borrow Alhaji Lai Mohammed's word, taste by moonlight story. And you are saying, so as far as I'm concerned, it's unfortunate that the essence of this panel has been defeated. And I will not be surprised if nothing tangible comes out of the what's it called, of the report. I will not be surprised if there's no implementation.
All right. Now, Nigerians are waiting, especially the Lagos State has set up the panel. They're waiting for what the Lagos State government is going to do regarding this. And everyone is waiting, having confidence in the governor of Lagos State to say he's going to do the needful because they set up this panel in the first place. So they'll wait to see. On the other hand, is also the international community. The United States, the UK, European Union, the United Nations, they have all, encouraged Nigeria to do the needful when it comes to this. So let's wait to see how.
Unfortunately, the governor of Lagos State has no power over the military. So even if there is an indictment of the military or the police, he cannot do anything.
Yeah, but the point there is...
The federal government that will do has already condemned the report. So
yeah,
you don't expect anything different from them.
Yeah, but the focal point is the people. So whatever the Lagos State government does for the people is very pivotal to the issue. So let's wait to see how that comes out. Now, another story that I'd like us to look at before we leave in the next just 1-2 minutes is a story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Poor Nigerians to get 5,000 naira a month per month after fuel subsidy removal. Federal government is saying this. Jide, I saw you smiling seriously when I was taking this. I wonder what runs through your mind when I was reading that.
Yeah, it is a fantastic move to pay 5,000 naira monthly to poor Nigerians. But how do you classify poor Nigerians to start there? Then let me ask a simple question. About 52 billion could have been paid on the 774,000 palliative jobs that were rolled out by the government. But the money is still lying down in the bank account right now. And the minister claimed, the Minister of State, that it's because of banking logistics or whatever. You see, there is need for capital trust. And on the case of subsidy, we need to remove it. I quite agree. And the governor of Kaduna State already said that those who are benefiting are the rich, the smugglers. But the big question is that why should our borders be so porous? Cameroon and things like that, because that they have even shut down their own refineries because they get cheap fuel from Nigeria. You see, and look at NNPC. NNPC is telling us that we lose about 250 billion naira monthly on subsidy. NNPC recently remitted about 14 billion naira as against around 120 billion that should come in monthly.
Okay.
So why don't you just remove this? But by and large, it's all about wisdom of governance. We spent about $26.3 billion for maintaining moribund refineries, enough to build 3 refineries. So who is deceiving who really?
Exactly.
Subsidy or no subsidy?
Yeah, these are all the questions. Now, Tunji, what's your take on this? Just in 30 seconds.
And I will just do that. It's another thing by moonlight.
You think so?
It's another thing by moonlight.
It seems you don't have
There was
confidence in
moonlight
it.
on the 20th of October.
The last time, the first time when this government came into power, they increased the fuel from 97 or 87 to what they were told that the money on top of it will be used to repair our road. Today we are borrowing money to repair road. So I don't understand. So I don't want to agree. These are just a means of squandering the money because you see school feeding. Can you trace the people that have been fed? 5,000 to follow rebels that have been. Can you mention
even their bacha loot
so
that was
just a
shared?
way of siphoning our money.
Their bacha loot that was shared. It was said that that was going to help ameliorate sufferings. But
massive infrastructure,
according
to Chief Lai Mohammed.
we still have
you need to be blind not to see the massive infrastructure.
No, we are borrowing money to do all the infrastructure we have.
All right, we have to leave now. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Tunji Abdulhammed, thank you for coming on the program. Thank you very much. And Jide Ologun, thank you very much for coming.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.